Hey guys, many of you guys have asked me what the reasons are as far as hauntings go and why people have hauntings. I'm going to give you guys a couple of reasons why, but they're the main reasons why and very important, so pay attention. Number one of the main reasons why there's a haunting is if somebody, either yourself or somebody close to you, is dabbling with seances, rituals, readings sometimes when they try to, which means the tarot cards, anything that has to do with the spiritual realm. If you're dabbling with the spiritual realm, you are sure to get a haunting if you don't know what you're doing, or the person that is dabbling with that's close to you doesn't know what they're doing. And therefore you will get a haunting. And the reason why I'm saying somebody close to you is they could either do it in your home and open up portals, or they could do it in your name to find things out about you, and that could also open portals and you will get a haunting. Now, the difference is if you dabble with the dark side or the spiritual realm, period, what happens is a regular angel or a good spirit is not going to come through if you don't know what you're doing and you get a haunting. Demonic entities, dark entities end up coming through the portal that you opened, and you have no idea what you're doing, then you are going to get haunted by these individuals that you have invited in. If somebody else is doing it in your name, tarot reading, trying to do readings, and they have no idea how to do it, or it's their first time, or even if they are doing it, they just don't have a clue on how to close the portal back up and send the entities back and close the portal, then be sure not only are they going to be haunted, but they just open up a portal for you. So congratulations, you can thank that person for doing that. Which I wouldn't. I would retaliate by doing a reverse spell so I could go back to them. Or I would just close the port, send them on their way and close the portals and be done with it. But I would definitely find out why that individual did it. Now, if you guys want to know who did it and what's going on, you guys can always contact me, monicaspiritqueen@yahoo.com. I would be glad to look into it, and I would definitely let you guys know who's behind it, what they did to open the portal, what the purpose was, and why they wanted to do it. What kind of information they wanted to find out from you, and all the good stuff and the juicy little things that everybody wants to know. I can find out because I have done it many, many times, and I'm still doing it for my clients and people that contact me over the phone, around the world, email, things like that. Sometimes they drop by. But yeah, I could definitely find out and let you guys know why they are actually doing it. They're not allowed to. Because you don't mess with the spiritual realm unless you know what you're doing. And if you don't, you're going to have a haunting. Another reason for a haunting is if you are doing, and I know I've said this before, and I know, I have respect. I know a lot of people that use the Ouija board for paranormal investigations, for this and that. And I have a lot of paranormal investigator friends from around the world. And, I have nothing but love and respect for all of them. They know what they're doing. But if you don't know what you're doing and you want to communicate with a spirit, and you're doing the Ouija board and you contact the spirit to come through. So what happens is if you don't cross the spirit over back and close the portal, that entity is going to stay there. And you will have a haunting. So just because you're done with the Ouija board and you say, okay, goodbye, I'm leaving, whatever, it doesn't mean that they normally cross. Most of the time they don't. They don't cross back to where they came from. They stay there. A lot of times if you, I've personally seen it, people doing it. I have a lot of clients, a lot of people that contact me and tell me, well, they have used a Ouija board, but it feels like, it didn't work when they try to say goodbye, and the Ouija board, the entity goes to no, nope, I'm not leaving. that means they're not leaving, and then you have a problem. So you need to contact an expert, somebody like me that knows what's going on, that can actually send the dark entity back, or the spirit back where it came from, and shut the doors, close the portal, and be done with it. I always recommend to do a full house cleansing, as well as cleansing yourself and everybody under that roof in the household that is with you, that lives with you, to be fully cleansed after the portals are closed and the house is cleansed. Make sure that when you do a cleansing, you do a full cleansing, and before you start the cleansing, make sure that every individual in the home, including the person that's doing the cleansing, is blocked. Because when you're blocked, what happens is that entity that you are kicking out of your house, you're evicting them, is what I like to call, is, you evict the entities, the dark ones. You don't want to give them a chance to jump in your body and hide in your body, because that's what they will do. A lot of entities, the dark ones, will jump into somebody's body to hide. And then what happens is they get used to it. They're like, oh, well, we have a car we could drive now, because, we're inside this body. And what happens is they're going to end up taking advantage and fully possessing that person. So it goes from a level 1, jumps from a level 1 to a level 10, and now you have a possession. And an exorcism needs to be done. When you guys do an exorcism, if the exorcism is not 100% accomplished, then it means that there's still portals that are open in the house as well. So the house needs to have an exorcism done as well. It could be a workplace, a company, anywhere. It doesn't always have to be a house. Wherever the portals open, wherever the rituals that were done, or the seances, or the Ouija board, or the tarot reading cards, anywhere, that place needs to be completely cleansed, or an exorcism needs to be done in order for everything to be out and complete and done, and that way a whole weight will be lifted off your shoulders. So no more haunting. Another way to get a haunting is if you go to one of these psychic shops, and I know like a lot of people like me, like real psychic mediums like me, and others, including the famous ones, we always talk about, and we always try to warn people, don't go to the ones in the shop. And the reason why we don't want you guys to go in the shop is because they're all about money. They sit in this little booth or whatever, little behind the curtain that they have. I've been there. I have experienced it, and the reason why I have gone there so many times, not so many times, but different locations, is to try them out and to see how they work and how accurate they are. And they suck, because instead of you asking the questions, they're the ones asking the questions. They start off with, well, hi, how are you? What's your name? Where are you from? What's going on? This and that. Have you guys experienced that? If we're doing a reading and we were going to do a real reading, we don't tell you where you're from, what's going on. We automatically pick up and we let you know what's going on. And we tell you what the problem is. And then we ended up going to the bottom of the problem and finding a solution, fixing the problem, sending these attachments that you have that are haunting you on their way, closing the portals, and then you're done. Other times that when you go to a psychic shop, is what they do is they will open a portal for you, and they have demons coming in, not the person that you're trying to communicate with. If it's a spiritual reading, meaning that a spiritual reading is when you're trying to communicate with a spirit that has crossed over, a loved one, a friend, anybody that that you're trying to communicate with to get closure, to get answers and responses from them. You're trying to communicate with them. Those people in the shops are not communicating directly with them, and I promise you that. And the reason why I'm saying that is because of the fact that I have experienced it. I have tested them out. Of course, testing them out, I didn't give them my right information because I wanted to see if they would actually pick up if I'm fibbing, if I'm lying, if I'm trying to trick them. I have, people that test me, and not just me, a lot of psychic mediums get tested a lot, whether it's for shows that we do, interviews that we do. We get readings, we get asked to do readings right off the bat out of nowhere, and we're like, okay. And if you guys, are following me and you watch the rest of my videos, I actually have videos on people that I did readings on my radio show live, and people that I have never even met before. This one woman, you guys will see, you'll know who I'm talking about. She unexpectedly popped up, in the studio when I was doing my radio show. Right before I was getting started to do my show, she just popped up. She's another radio personality. She popped up to say hi, and then I ended up doing a reading on her, and that was the first 5 minutes that I've met her. And all I knew was her name and her nickname of what she goes by, and that was it. So then you'll see how emotional the readings, the reading gets when I do it for her, because she breaks down into tears. And I actually say things that nobody ever knew, that these secrets that she was hiding inside that nobody knew. If you guys want a reading done, a complete full reading, whether it's a personal reading for you or somebody else, or to communicate with spirit, a spiritual reading, you can always contact me at monicaspiritqueen@yahoo.com. Email me with your phone number so I can contact you back and find out what's going on, so I could do a reading and give you closure. And I give both sides closure. The spirits as well. When I do readings, they get closure too. So, there's always unfinished business or something that goes on with the spiritual realm that spirits like to linger around or stay around, or sometimes visit a loved one down here, and they won't leave or continuously visit unless they get closure, and they send the messages that they want their loved ones down here to know. So I relate messages back and forth. The important thing is when we're done with the reading, I send them back. I make sure that the spirit gets sent back to where they came from, and then I close the portal. That way there is no haunting, period. A lot of times with these psychic shops, when you go, the reason why I'm saying don't go because you will have a haunting is they leave the portals open. They don't even connect directly to the spirits, to your loved one that you want to connect to. They open dark portals that are connected directly to hell, so they actually summon up demons, and demons come up. And you know how quickly it is for me to read somebody just like that? When I do readings back to back, I do full hour sessions, sometimes 2-hour readings, and I read the whole person's life from birth till now to, family members, loved ones, enemies, everything. I spill the beans on everything for that person. But, everything that I figured that the person would want to know. What they do is when the demons get summoned up, it's the same thing, because when it comes to the spiritual realms, what you guys need to know is the spirits like to connect telepathically, and therefore they're able to read somebody in an instant, just like I do, and real psychic mediums like myself can do as well. So what happens is they end up doing a full reading on you within less than 60 seconds. And then they tell that so-called wannabe psychic what you want to know, and they respond. So it's not even the loved one they're connecting with. And then in the end, when they say, thank you, give me your money, you're done, and they pretty much steal your money, they don't close that portal. They don't send the demon back and close the portal. So therefore, the portal stays open. The demon is attached to you now. Congratulations. And it follows you home. And guess what? You have a freaking haunting. So be very careful who you trust when it comes to doing readings on you, because readings can open doors, and people like me know how to close those doors back up so you don't get a haunting, you don't get affected. Another way that you get a haunting is when you go to investigate. Paranormal investigators, a lot of the real ones, the ones that that I'm friends with, that I personally know, I have paranormal investigating friends like all around the world. So, and I know they're real because they know what they're doing. They know how to block themselves. They know how to protect themselves. They know how to cleanse themselves after an investigation, and that's very important. Now, if you're not experienced and you want to go out there and do an investigation, and you're not blocking yourself before you walk in that door or you get onto that location, If you don't know what you're doing, guess what? At the end of the day, when you go home, you're going to have a haunting, because chances are the location you went to, and when spirits find out that, oh my gosh, there is a living human being on earth that's interested in this location, that's interested in the haunting that's going on, guess what? We're the ones that are haunting. Then they'll be interested into what we have to say and what we're doing and what our motive is for staying on earth. So we're just going to follow that person home, and we're going to continuously try to communicate with that person into what might sound innocent to them might be ending up to be a haunting for you. So be very careful when you go to locations, when you're doing investigations, to block yourself first. I would meditate while I'm blocking myself. Get to the location, then after the location, make sure you cleanse yourself before you even get inside your car to leave, before you even walk in the front door of your home. Make sure you cleanse yourself, and you make sure that nothing follows you. And if you need help on that, you need help mentoring, when it comes to the paranormal realm, absolutely communicate with me, contact me. I will be happy to help you and mentor you and teach you the things that you need to know before you decide to dabble with the spiritual realm. The spiritual realm is very dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. It's very dangerous if you don't know how to block yourself. And it's very dangerous if you don't know how to send spirits back and close the portals. So be very, very careful. Don't forget to ask for help. If you're doing seances and rituals, just make sure that when you guys are done at the end, number one, don't use it on the bad. Don't wish ill on anybody or try to do anything bad, because if you guys are doing seances or rituals, or even lighting a simple candle to curse a person, or to put a dark spell on somebody, or to hex somebody, or do anything on anybody, what I would do is I would block myself for any individuals that I think is bad. And then if that person tries to do something to you, it's not going to work. And even if it does work, there's always reverse spells that would go back to the person 10 times fold. So they're going to end up feeling their crap that they try to put on you, except it's going to be way worse on them. So always remember that. I'm constantly posting videos about, how to do seances, how to do rituals, how to block yourself during investigations or anything that has to do with the spiritual realm, how to communicate with spirits the right way. As far as readings goes, who to trust when it comes to doing readings. People contact me all around the world. I could do a reading over the phone within seconds. It's really quick and easy for me. I've been doing this for a very long time. Like I've been telling everybody, I was born with this gift. As long as I can remember, since I was a little kid, I could see, hear, and feel spirits. So it's not really hard for me to do anything that has to do with the spiritual realm. I could bring spirits through. I could do a reading. I could send them back to where they came from, so it's safe for them. It's safe for you. Give both sides closure. Close the portal so that way you don't have a haunting and that spirit doesn't linger around, or the portal doesn't stay open to where it gives an open invitation to dark entities to come through. So be careful what you're doing. Be careful who you trust when it comes to doing readings for you, because it's very important, and it could be very dangerous if that person does not know what they're doing. Also, the last thing when it comes to cleansing homes, I do cleansing homes. I don't have to be in the home state. I don't have to be exactly where you're at in your home to do cleansings. I could do cleansing from where I'm at and from where you're at. I know it's kind of hard to understand. I'm not going to get into details, but I have been doing this for so many years and helping so many people when it comes to cleansings and closing portals, and they actually see the difference. They will actually contact me a few weeks later and give me updates, which is what I want you to do when you contact me, is give me updates and tell me, hey Monica, guess what? Nothing else happened. There's no poltergeist activities. There's no attachments. There's no attacks. There's nothing haunting me anymore. And I just wanted to let you know that it's done and over with. And that makes me feel good, because, my goal is to help you guys. My goal is to make sure that the hauntings and attachments that you guys have are gone and no more. And the fact that I'm giving you closure, as well as the spiritual realm closure, whoever you're trying to communicate with. And doing the right way. There's proper steps to do it. And if you miss a step, if you don't know what you're doing and you actually miss a step, dealing with the spiritual realm, it could backfire on you. So just be very, very careful when it comes to the spiritual realm. Don't mess with it if you don't know what you're doing. Thanks for watching, and just watch the rest of my videos. I will be posting a lot more soon. If you guys have any more questions, contact me at monicaspiritqueen@yahoo.com, and I will definitely contact you guys back. I normally have a good habit of contacting you guys back as soon as possible. So if I don't do it the same day, give me between 2 to 3 days, and I'll definitely within the same week, I should say, I will contact you guys back, just depending on my schedule. But I'm normally quick in contacting you guys back as soon as possible. So, you know, don't forget to contact me if you guys have anything, any questions, any mentoring, any readings, any hauntings, anything that you guys have, anything that has to do with the paranormal. Let me know, and I will be glad to help you. Love you guys. God bless. Be in the light, and don't forget, don't mess with the spiritual realm unless you know what you're doing. Take care.